So today we have Cleopatra on the show, who's another Hostati music artist, who's part of the Hostati family. You've also been traveling all over the country on your tour recently, and have headlined the Gem, Spring Fever. You did a Girl Gang Takeover, who's another collective that you're a part of. Even opened for Adventure Club, and you've just had a ton of success so far. So it was a pleasure to have you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course. Can you just tell our audience a little bit of a background about yourself and then also how that ties into your artistry?
Sure. So I'm 26. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah right now. I played four different instruments when I was younger, then just kind of lost interest when I was like 14, 15-ish.
What kind of
And
instruments
then
did you play?
guitar, piano, clarinet, and violin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then when I was like 18, 19, I started making a ton of friends in the industry that were like throwing shows and stuff. And they would always invite me to come to their shows. So, and then one day it just hit me like that's what I wanted to do. So I
Yeah.
dropped out of University of Utah and started going to um, music production school. And now, like, I've played on Deadbeats. I have a song on Subsidia. Got some more music coming out in a couple months.
Nice. I know you're working. We're pretty plugged in with J6 too, and I know you're good friends with him. Um,
Yeah, that's my homie.
he was telling me because I just had him on a few weeks back. He was telling me you guys are working on a song. How's that going? Is that released
Oh,
yet?
no, it's not released yet. I'm just
Okay.
waiting for him to finish his drop. It's been like several months. I'm like, Jay, finish it.
Right. Um, so where did
The
the
song.
name
Sorry,
where'd
go ahead.
your no, you're good. Where'd your name Cleopatra come from? What does that mean to you and why did you choose that?
So I've just always been really fascinated with Egyptian times. So that, and then on my lucky year, according to the Chinese, it was the first time in 2,373 years the stars aligned with the pyramids.
Oh
And
shit.
that happened during the week that I figured out that this is what I wanted to do with my life. So I was like, well,
Oh shit. Nice.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
cool story. I don't think I've asked a few people that same question of like where did the name come from because it's always a cool story to hear, but I don't think I've heard anything close to that before. So that's pretty interesting.
yeah,
It's cool that you
yeah.
did your research on it too.
Yeah, thanks.
How did you originally get connected with Hostati then? I know you've known Todd for quite a while, right? You were friends with him before
Yeah,
you started all this.
so I think I like was a part of his promo team when he was living in Salt Lake like 8 years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not really like in his collective
Right.
necessarily. I've just like known him for a
Yeah, yeah,
while.
yeah. But you're still a part of the fam.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have a show coming up for Hostati, what, 2 weeks, something like that? Like 10
Yeah, I
days,
believe it's
11 days?
August 14th.
Yeah, yeah. So what, by the time this comes out, that'll still be about a week out from your show. So
Oh, okay, cool.
sweet. Um, you've had a ton of support, like I mentioned in the intro of this, from Excision, 12th Planet, Zed's Dead, BTSM. You've, like I said in the beginning, you've opened for, or you've been direct support for Adventure Club. What is that experience like? Because being able to get support from them is, I'm sure, really, it's when that started happening was a really big deal for you.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I think like the first people to start supporting were Zed's Dead, and like they were like the very first artist I ever heard
Okay.
in EDM. So like they started it all for me, and then they played one of my tracks on three of their episodes,
Nice.
like the same track in three different episodes, and I like freaked out. And they gave me shout outs too. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
That's awesome.
I was like, wow.
How did they originally find you?
My manager knows someone that works with them, so
Gotcha.
he sent
Gotcha.
my stuff in.
Who are you managed by?
Justin Lizama. I don't know how to say his last name,
That's
but
all right. Who does he work for, or who is that under? Is it his own
um,
project?
yeah, it's his own thing.
Okay.
He's worked with Borgor, Steve Aoki, Marshmello, Banks. He's worked with like a
Wow,
ton of
that's
big.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that would make sense to why the connection with Zed's Dead and Deadbeats was so easy because he did working with Steve
yeah,
Aoki and huge names like yeah, Yeah, it kind of just
Yeah,
happens. That's awesome.
right.
How did he originally find you?
He actually found me on this website called Label Radar.
Okay.
It's like a platform that just had like you can upload your unreleased song and then pick what labels you want to send it to, and it'll just do it for you on there. And he actually found me on there. It was like, where do you live? Do you have a manager? Blah blah blah. And it turned out that he happened to like he had just moved to Utah,
Nice.
so we just like met up, got some food, talked about stuff, and went from there.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
when that time happened, were you still early on in your career, or was this like more of a recent thing?
No, this was 2 years ago, so I'd been doing
Okay.
this for 3 years by then.
So how long in total have you been actually producing and performing in the EDM
Five
space?
years.
5 years? Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
as of last month, it's been 5 years.
Oh wow, congrats. You've covered a lot of ground in that time. Holy crap.
Thanks.
Um, getting to the point of going back to all those artists, big name artists supporting you. In what ways have you seen them like? It's like certain artists have different ways of expressing their support towards you, but in what ways have you seen them kind of other than like shout outs and stuff?
Um, Mostly just like playing my stuff or
Okay,
just
right,
stuff like that. So,
right. And yeah, like you were saying, Zed's Dead was that played you they said the same song, right? And like
yeah, the same song.
three different
Yeah,
episodes. That's nuts. I know that
yeah,
those I listen to those episodes. They're so good, so good.
yeah, yeah. And then
Um,
Zed let me play a set for their live stream. So
oh,
back in
cool,
March, that's another way that I guess
awesome.
they support me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's super cool. Yeah, that's so awesome. When I'm glad that some of the bigger artists are like they kind of go out. Not everyone, but a lot of them go out of their way, especially when they're running a label and stuff, to like really do
Try and
A&R
help.
work and really find like people that they're like they want to help and
Right.
that's super awesome. They chose you.
I agree.
I think you're freaking talented, extremely talented at what you do. So it makes sense why they did
Thank you.
that. Um, other than Subsidia, have you had any other major label releases?
I released on. They just changed their name to Base X, but it was MMXVAC. I don't remember what it stands for,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that was another big one. And then I can't say what the labels are, but I have another major label release next month, and
Sweet.
another major and on a different label in October.
Awesome. Awesome. So you
Yeah.
got what, three more releases coming up this year?
Two that are planned for
Oh,
right now. I
okay.
might do another by the end of the year, but I don't know yet.
Gotcha, gotcha. So another thing that I want to touch on, you actually just started your own collective, Raining Blood.
Mhm.
What went into that? What kind of inspired you to create that?
So it's just kind of something that I've been wanting to do for several years. And then I just like woke up one day and decided to pull the trigger. I got everything done from my phone in like 4 hours. I even made those flyers on my phone.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you do all the artwork then for all of it?
Just that. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I don't do graphic design, but like I can do like little flyers and shit like
Right,
that.
right,
But
right, right.
I can't like really like design something. Like I don't know how to do
Yeah.
that. So
Logo design and stuff like that.
yeah, no, I can't do any of that. But
Who did your logo then? You commissioned that?
uh, yeah, the person that owns the production school that I went to actually made it for me several years
Okay.
ago.
I
Yeah.
forgot to ask you, what production school did you go to? You said it was in Salt Lake, right?
Yeah, it's called Salt Lake DJ and Production.
Okay.
Just like for learning Ableton or FL, like whatever you want to learn. It's super private. Like there's only 4 seats in each class.
Damn. I'm very
Yeah.
familiar. I was just, when we left Hard, uh, I went over to Icon Collective and their class sizes are like definitely bigger than that, probably like 5 times the size of that because I think their class size is like 20, but they only have like, I think they
Yeah.
only have like 6 classes going on at once. So it's still pretty small, but
Yeah.
that's like tiny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real small, but I mean, it's dope.
It works, yeah.
If I, yeah, I didn't know about Icon when I started going there. And then by the time I found out about icon. I'm like, well, I already paid to go here, so I'm just
Yeah,
gonna keep
yeah,
going here.
yeah. How long was the program?
um, so each program is like 6 months. So there's
Okay,
like a beginning, intermediate, advanced. So I did the whole thing. So it was like a year and a half.
year and a half. Okay, that's
Yeah.
what's not honestly. That's what's nice about like music schools. Like it's like roughly a year for most of them. Instead of like
Yeah.
having to go to school for like 4 or 5 years, like gosh, I hate getting normal degrees. I'm about to get done with my marketing degree, and just that 2 year, I was like, man, I'm so glad I only have a year left.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I hate school. It's the
I
worst.
do too. I mean,
Luckily,
I liked going to school for music, but like when I was going to the University of Utah, I
yeah.
was like, why the fuck am I even going here? I don't even know what I want to do yet. Like,
Right.
I'm
What
just
were you
gonna
going to
do all
school
these
for
random
originally?
psychology, actually.
Oh shit. Okay, that's
Yeah.
a big change.
Yeah.
How
So I didn't
long?
even know. Sorry, go ahead.
How long did you? Or how long were you going to that college? Or you? Which you said Salt Lake? Which
University of
university?
Utah.
University of Utah.
Uh,
There we go. How long were you
yeah,
there before you ended up calling it quits and changed your kind of life plan?
3 semesters.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like fuck
Yeah.
this. I'm out.
I know for me at least, like I went to school right out of high school and I failed a lot of classes and I ended up stopping going to school, and then that gave me time to like just focus on work and figure out kind of like what I liked, what I didn't, and
Yeah,
then I changed back to wanting to go to music business, get into business, and I actually knew what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, getting into associates in marketing kind of makes sense because that's like
yeah,
one of the main things for someone in music business to know. And
right.
then yeah, and then going on to music business school after that, it's a lot easier to go to school when you actually like what you're doing.
Yeah, that is a fact.
um, Other than the collective, what and also your tour that we haven't talked about yet, but that wraps up in October. Um, that it does wrap up in October, correct?
Well, we actually just got the tour booked in January.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know, they like got a bunch of dates lined up at first, and then now I think it's kind of like trickling out, like at least for the tour. Like I still
Right.
have my own shows, but
Right. Right. What has the new spike in COVID affected that, or
not yet.
not yet? That's good.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I can handle another year of no shows. That was
That
fucked
yeah
up.
yeah that was rough. That was rough for all of us in the industry. It
Yeah,
sucked. Yeah, I know. I was surprised, like, because like they just reinstated like the masks encouraged or whatever indoor, and I was like, man, like going to like hard summer or something like that's whether you're indoor or not, you're still like shoulder to shoulder with like everyone. So I was
yeah, with
surprised. I was
thousands
like,
of
what's
people.
the difference between like I don't understand. What's the difference between
Yeah,
going to work and not wearing a mask and going to a festival? Yeah, it's outside, but what difference does that make when you're standing so close to
yeah,
people? Um,
exactly.
but yeah, so far, I mean, even with that, like, I haven't seen any tours getting canceled. I haven't seen anything getting changed. So hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
seriously.
Yeah. Um, what other than those two things, what does the rest of the year look like, and what is kind of like going into next year? What is that? What are some of your goals and stuff coming up?
Um, I mean, I kind of already accomplished most of the shit I wanted to accomplish this year.
That's good.
But
Congrats.
so yeah, I'm playing for Hastati 14th, and then Ohio for Disco Donnie on the 27th, and then I'm headlining at Green Elephant in Dallas in September, and then Colorado in October, and then Florida in January. And that's all that I know of right now. I'm sure more will come in the
Yeah,
next few
that's
weeks.
yeah. Constantly getting hit up for stuff.
Yeah,
Good, good. You're full time now. Full time producer, right?
almost. I'm hoping by this time next year I should be able to do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, right now I have like a part-time job because like some like last month, or no, not last month, the month before, like I missed a show because my fucking flight got canceled, and then a different show just got postponed. So it's like until the like I'm getting like at least 4 shows a month,
Right.
like regularly. I
Yeah.
and they actually go through. I can't really do full time.
Right. Right.
It's like if I miss a show, then that's a big chunk of change that
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get until we make it up or whatever. So
Right. Right. You know, I've mentioned that and talking with other artists on this podcast too, is like, especially in the new age, like you could survive, like if you're a good producer, but you like didn't do a tour yet or whatever, like back, you know,
yeah,
80s, 90s, like people actually bought your music. Now it's all streaming. So it's like the income for
yeah,
artists is tour. You have to play shows. So,
yeah,
and especially with
exactly.
COVID, like that's why so many people like took a hit and like luckily, I don't, you know, Wooly, um,
Yeah,
he's actually like a licensed, I think he's a licensed like financial advisor or something like that. So like he had something to lean on. Like no matter what happens in his music career, he still has
yeah,
something outside of it. So I'm like, man, that's like a lot of artists are way too busy to do that kind of stuff. But
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one busy man.
Yeah, touring and playing festivals and doing everything he does on top of like still running a clientele. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's wild.
Insane. All right. Well, I always like asking this question to every artist because I've been getting a lot of feedback from listeners that they do like me asking this question. But what do you
Okay.
personally like to do outside of the music industry? Like, what are your hobbies outside of like? Because I know music for you at this point, like you love it. But do you do other hobbies to keep balance in your life or anything like
Yeah,
that?
so I really love hiking, camping, snowboarding. I actually used to compete in snowboarding. I
Oh,
don't do that
sick.
anymore, but I'll still ride. But like that's probably my next favorite thing to do outside of making music is just go ride all day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I grew up wakeboarding, but snowboarding kind
Oh,
of
hell
goes
yeah.
hand in hand. I love snowboarding. It makes sense because being in Utah, like
Yeah.
kind of the place
Wakeboarding's
for it.
super fun too,
Yeah,
but I don't
yeah,
have a boat, so
yeah. My parents do, and we haven't used it in a while, so I haven't gone
hell
wakeboarding.
yeah.
It's probably been like 2 years now, but grew up every summer doing it, and yeah,
Yeah.
I like the individual sports, and I'm sure that kind of the same for you. You like it
Yeah.
makes sense why you're a DJ too, because relying on other people, it's kind of a team if you're in a band, but
Right.
it's all
Exactly.
you when you're a DJ. So, um, yeah, I definitely relate on. I like doing stuff for myself by myself.
I feel that.
Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to get out there that we didn't cover, or anything that you wanted to let our audience know?
Um, I guess we're doing my first collective takeover in Salt Lake City this October. So if anyone in the area wants to try and come to that, just keep your eyes peeled on our Instagram
Sweet.
when we announce it. So
I do want to ask you one more thing about the collective.
yeah.
What are your like long-term goals for the collective?
So eventually I want to be throwing my own shows. Right now, or today actually, we just dropped our first guest mix with Blackout.
Yes, I
So
saw
we'll be
that.
doing monthly guest mixes every first Tuesday of every month.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm super excited for you to come play in Sacramento for us. And I'll see you. That's about a week away. So, for everyone wanting to see you
Yeah.
perform, you can find the link in it's on your Instagram page, right? The
To
ticket link.
the show?
Yes.
No, no, I
Oh, okay.
haven't.
Well, it's in ours. So for anyone who wants to buy tickets, you can find it on our Instagram page and Facebook page. But thank you so much for being on the show, and I will see you in about a week.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
All right. You too.